welcome to today's video. Today we are doing my back to school routine. Yes, it's that time. The summer vacation has literally flown. I can't even believe it. We're officially in the back to school mode. That means I'm getting up earlier than usual to get my coffee in, to get my makeup done and ready to go so that when it's time to get my kid off to school, I'm ready and pulled together and I feel like I am ready to tackle the day. It's my armor for the day. And this goes without saying, but even if you are not back to school and you don't have a kid to send off to school, whether you're dropping off or getting them on a bus, you can still do this routine. This is for the person who wants to get ready, wants to be a full face of makeup without it looking heavy, without having to take a lot of time, without it being fussy, whether you're going to work or you're working from home, or if you just want to put your makeup on for the day because you just feel like it. I hope that this video is going to be helpful. We are kind of going through every step of my routine. I'm giving you product recommendations. I'm not just sharing what I'm using or just showing an application method. I'm giving you the details, the why am I using these products, the tips, the tricks, the things that I've learned from getting myself ready. I have 4 kids, so I need to be able to get things done very quickly. So I feel like the ideas and the tips that I'm giving you, I think are going to be helpful, and I hope that they are. And if you try them, please report back and let me know how they worked for you. But the whole point is to look put together, to look your absolute best, to feel great without having to have 10,000 products, without feeling like you have all these layers on your face of makeup and it just looks heavy. Everything is really polished and pulled together, and I feel like I did everything, but I sort of scaled back the amount and the layers that I'm using, and I really am taking you through my entire routine. So it is going to be a longer video because I'm sharing so much detail with you, but I think those details are super important. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. Skincare has already been done, and I'm going to move to the next part of my routine, which is kind of prepping the skin. If I wanted something that had a little bit more glow and something a little bit more kind of dewy looking, I would definitely incorporate either the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter or something like the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. It has a bit of a tint to it, and it adds glow and hydration to the skin. But because I want to sort of not necessarily use specifically just a skin tint, because I do want a little bit more coverage, I'm going to sort of mix a little bit of something very light and something that honestly looks incredibly beautiful on the skin. Not a lot of people talk about it. I'm going to mix it with something that has more full coverage. I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder. I wear shade 1.5 Fair. This has a bit more of a golden tone. You shake it up. Also includes an SPF of 15, which isn't the highest, and it's not the only form of SPF that you should rely on. So it is a bonus with this product. I'm going to add a little bit of my NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I talked about this in a previous video where I used a sample of it. Absolutely loved it. I ended up ordering the shade called Gobi Light 3. So today I used the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, and that I feel like is a great, very hydrating moisturizer that will prep the skin for foundation. So I don't need to use like a primer. So this is the 2 shades mixed together. They're quite yellow and golden, but we're gonna add some bronzer. And by adding the Light Wonder from Charlotte Tilbury to the Soft Matte, I'm gonna get some glow, some more additional hydration to my skin. On its own, I would say that Light Wonder from Charlotte is very dewy and it is very moisturizing. So by adding the NARS to it, that's more matte, I'm getting like a dewy light complexion that is, I would say, more of like a medium coverage. The Light Wonder is very light. It's really pretty. It's very skin tint like. So there's so many on the market these days, skin tints, liquids, even a new one that came out from Fenty. It's a skin tint but in a stick form. That's also a great option, I'm sure, for ease of use and just getting the makeup applied quickly. You can use skin tints from any brand. I'm sure the drugstore even has some too that you could use. And the whole point is to look perfected, but keep things just light and thin and fresh. Back to school probably means getting up a little bit earlier than usual, especially since you have to pack backpacks, lunch boxes, snacks, get everybody dressed and ready and out the door by a certain time. You are trying to kind of get things done. And unfortunately, waking up early, if you're not used to it, you will kind of notice that a little bit in the under eye area. The skin is thin to begin with, so you see everything there. So for me, using a corrector is absolutely key. And my go-to is from Charlotte Tilbury. It is in the shade 1 Fair. And just kind of swirl it a couple times because that's going to be honestly enough for me to do both eyes. And I do have, not sure with the lights, you know, these really bright lights, but I do have discoloration here. And I have some darkness through here. So you'll be able to see how this is going to sort of help kind of calm the look of the dark circles. So I use my finger most of the time to really pat this in and blend this all the way from inner corner to outer corner, and then making sure that I'm tapping gently over this area here. And I love this corrector. It really does work. Concealer today is from Armani. The Luminous Silk number 3 is what I wear. I would have used my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer, which I absolutely love, but I feel like that one adds more coverage, and I'm trying to keep things a little bit light, especially with that corrector. I don't need a lot of concealer, so I'm going to use just a few little dots. And this color, number 3, works well with the tone of the foundation from NARS that is more kind of golden. So the two of those together really play nicely. For my under eyes, I do like to use a damp beauty sponge to blend this out. This one is from e.l.f. The Beauty Blender works great. There are some really affordable ones from a brand called Beaky that you can get on Amazon. I did a video several years ago when I saw that that had some really good ratings, and I was looking for an affordable option to the Beauty Blender, and it had a lot of ratings. Now I'm sure the ratings for that have gone through the roof. With all the dupes out there, I think that is probably, from my personal experience, the one that's the closest to being a dupe exactly for the Beauty Blender. I'm going to take whatever's left on my sponge and just kind of go over my lids. That can also be your priming step as well if you're going to do eyeshadow for the day. And it kind of takes care of all of those steps in one. And that concealer is a little bit more, I would say, hydrating than some of my other ones, and I do like the formula. I think it blends really nicely. I do need a pinch more right through here, right there, ever so slightly. You may not even be able to see it too much, but just the tiniest little bit right on this outer corner here. Then to set everything, I like to use a translucent powder. Any brand would work for this step because you really just want to set this so it doesn't crease and migrate and move around and settle into fine lines and wrinkles. But you also want to kind of remove a little bit of that sort of wet look that I have from just recently applying the product. So any translucent powder is going to work. I'm personally going to use the one from Haus Labs today. It's the Bio Blurring Loose Powder. It's the translucent option that I have been using for a few months now, and I do really enjoy the formula, and it's a great one to use under the eyes, but also works great for setting the rest of the face as well. And I like to use my damp beauty sponge to sort of set that. You can use a brush as well. You can use a powder puff. Again, you can get those affordably on Amazon. Next up is a little bit of bronzer. I normally do my brows at this point, but we're gonna save that and do things just a little bit out of order today, just for the sake of doing it differently. But normally brows comes next for me, and they do take a little bit of time, but I'm gonna share with you some tips and shortcuts there. But I do need to add some color because I'm very flat. I really enjoy the Laura Geller beauty products. I have several of her products, and I just enjoy using the Baked Bronze and Brighten, and this is the Fair. I have also the foundation. I have lots of her products, and it's baked, it's marbleized. You have different colors. You have the bronze tones. You have a little bit of a goldeny tone, something that's just a little bit like a soft pink color, and I will show you what the Fair looks like up close. But this can actually be the bronzer slash blush option for getting ready, making things faster. So something like this is beneficial. A face palette. I'm a big fan of using palettes that have your blush, your bronzer, and a highlight. I can list some in the description box, some options that are great that I think would be handy to have for streamlining this process of getting ready. But this specifically is great. Again, I'm going back into my double-ended brush from It Cosmetics, and I'm gonna just load up my brush, tap off my excess, and I'm gonna just sort of tap a little bit higher where I would apply my blush and where I would apply my bronzer. So I'm kind of covering that whole surface area. And the beauty about her formula is that no matter how much you apply, it's really hard to get this to look really heavy and cakey. It really is very easy to use, and it's a really beautiful formula. It's a powder, but it actually goes on and wears just like a cream would. Brows is one of those things that I feel like is kind of tricky to specifically pinpoint. This is exactly what you have to have because everyone's brows are so unique. I feel like if you have a full brow, whether it's a full thick brow, a medium shape, or even a thinner shape brow, but it's full and you're happy with it, using a brow gel or a clear brow wax may be sufficient, or even something that is tinted that gives you a little bit of color and just kind of gives them a more polished look and then also grooms them and keeps them in place. Those tinted brow gels are super handy for that. But those of us who have thinner brows, sparse brows, maybe even a scar where a hair doesn't grow, or areas where a hair should be, hello brows, mine, and it doesn't grow back. So I have to do a few extra steps, a little bit more finessing to make it look normal, okay, because my brows are a pain. I love using a brow pen. My favorite one is from NYX. This is one I use every single day. I can't go without doing my brows because they're not the same exact shape. One is a little bit more full and more kind of shaped the way I like it. The other one is doing its own thing. So I need to use a product that I can kind of pinpoint and fill and make it look like there's a hair, which is where the brow pen comes into play. And I usually use a pencil as well, and then a brow gel. So I'm going to start with the pen, and I'm going to just kind of comb my brows into place using the spoolie off of my normal brow pencil, which is the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and I wear shade 3 in that. Also 4 works well too. 4 is a little bit darker, but I'm using just a spoolie for right now to kind of groom them and get them where I want them to be before I go in with the brow pen. With this, I'm going to tackle the areas that I feel like I need the most help, which is the areas that don't have any hair. So I'm going to start there. And this is going to look a little strange, but you have to trust the process with this one. So once I have this spot here filled, and then right up here with a little bit of product, I'm going to do light sort of flicking motions upwards, very, very lightly, where I'm sort of grazing my skin ever so slightly. If you apply too much pressure, you're going to get way too much product, and it's going to cause you to have to take more time to either remove it or try to fix that. So just very light strokes to get the thinnest, finest little hair. So from here, I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Express Brow in the medium brown. This has a tint, and it also has a bit of hold because it is a tinted brow gel. I prefer an extra hold than this provides, but honestly, this is not bad. This is fine for every day. It's got a short side and then a longer side. So I'm going to start with the longer bristles. It looks more like a toothbrush to sort of rake through the brows and just deposit a little bit of pigment and not too much. Touch up with the brow pen and go over any little additional areas. So right out here, extend the tail just a little bit, and then again right up through here. Is a world of a difference from where we started to where we're at right now. So I'm going to do the other one off camera because this takes a little bit of time, and then I'll show you the brow gel that I'm going to use to have a bit more hold, and then we get to do some eyes, some highlight, the lip combo for the day. So I'll be right back. So for the brow gel, I'm going to use the NYX The Brow Glue, and I've been testing this out for several weeks, and I actually think it has really good hold. The word glue is in the name for a reason, so it's going to give you that kind of goopy look when you pull the wand out of the tube, but it is very easy to apply, and I'm just gonna rake through my brows ever so slightly, but maybe. You see, it's kind of goopy, but it works. So it may not look the best, but it actually is, it's pretty good. I like it. So I have that done. That took me 5 hours to get done, but we're moving on, okay? So I do want to add a little bit of extra something to my cheeks. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do blush or not, but then I thought, why don't I use this product from Laura Mercier? This is the Blush Color Infusion in the shade called All That Sparkles. It's such a pretty, soft color. It almost looks like there's nothing to it. It has a delicate kind of candlelit glow, and I think it would be perfect for that sort of a little bit of tint, not too much, a little bit of glow, but also not too much. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't even know. All I know is that when I'm getting ready in the morning, it's just too early in the morning, okay? I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario F1 brush. It's a double-ended brush to sort of tap that over the top of the Laura Geller product that I already have on, but it's going to give me a bit of glow, and it's going to be that sort of highlighter optional skin. So that's one less thing I have to do, one less step that I have to worry about, but I do have a bit of glow. Again, it's extremely soft, by the way. It's not going to be intense. So I'm okay with bringing it a little bit further towards my nose like I would a blush, because I know this is not overly frosty and shimmery looking. It's going to be just very, very soft, very ethereal. Then I go back in with my sponge and just sort of tap everything out to make sure it's blended. I think I want to do something with my lips because they do feel quite dry, and I'm going to sort of think about something that can give me a bit more of longevity. A lipstick, sure, can wear for a little bit. A liquid lip, I'm not all about that because I don't like that dryness. I don't like my lips to look like a raisin. So I wanted to kind of do two products that kind of serve a purpose, and it actually makes sense, I think, to me. So I'm going to start off with a lip stain lip blush in the shade called Coral Kiss. And this color is so pretty. It's a really nice coral. It's a bit deeper than what I thought it was going to be. It's deeper than what it looks like on the packaging. And honestly, it's deeper than what the swatches look like, but I think it's just because of my natural lip color. So once this is dry, you can kind of pat and blend. Take a tissue and take off the excess if you want. But this applies very thin, almost kind of like water. When you're applying it, it's not very thick at all. And then to sort of amp up the color and also add some hydration, because a lip stain is not going to add moisture to the lips, I'm going to use the NYX Fat Oil in the shade called Supermodel. So far, these have been really great. It hasn't made my lip texture weird or kind of dry and crusty like some other lip oils have done to me. So I really do like this, and it's a really pretty pink shade. It's a simple two-step process, but it really does, I think, add something with color to the skin and livens up my complexion, but it's also not very fussy. And when this lip oil wears off, I'm gonna have a bit of staining from the Huda product, so all I need to do is really touch up my lip product with the same thing, just a chapstick, a clear gloss. So I do really enjoy that. Now, if you wanted a gloss look with color, but you don't want to have to do multiple steps or sort of have a mirror handy to do different things like a lip liner or a lipstick, then you can do a lip balm that has some tint. The Summer Fridays brand has some really great lip balms. I use a clear one every single morning and every night as part of my skincare routine, and it is absolutely incredible. They do have a few shades that are quite pigmented for being a lip balm. So check those out if you would prefer to just use one product that is just more minimalistic and easy to wear and apply. I think you will really enjoy that formula. So I'm just priming my lids with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and I use my finger to apply it and blend it as if I was applying a cream shadow. So it's got a bit of a sort of cool undertone, a little bit of a pink tone to help kind of cancel out any veins, discoloration. And I do think that these are phenomenal for not only priming, but also sort of canceling out the veins. You could get them in different shades, different finishes, so you can prime and get color in one product. It's genius and it's incredible. So they have some options, so you can choose one that you like, but I like Painterly. That's my go-to base every time I do eyeshadow. I'm a huge fan of one and done. I could do that, but I've done that before. I have a video dedicated to the one and done with tips, tricks, recommendations, colors, swatches, a demo of how to apply it to where it actually looks like it's multiple different colors, but it's one shade. A really in-depth video that I think is very helpful. So I will link it in the cards if you're interested in watching that. But I'm going to use this little trio from Glossier. This is the Monochromes, the Essential Eyeshadow Trio, and I have it in the shade Almond. So with these trios, it's that monochrome moment. It's going to be the same tone in various finishes. So you can do the matte and just be fine with that. One that's more metallic and one that has a bit more of an elevated sparkle and shimmer to it. So you can really kind of play it up and do what you want with it. I like these. There's a few different options, and the best part is that not only is it great to apply, they blend well, they wear well, but they're super affordable. I think these are like $22, anywhere between 20 to 22, maybe even 25, but I think 25 is too much. I want to say they're $22 for what you're getting, and it's 3 really good eyeshadows. The packaging, I think, could be improved because I feel like there's a lot of wasted space here, but for 22 bucks, I can't be overly critical, right? So this is what I'm going to use today. But another great option if you like sort of the bronzy kind of brown tones, the NARS palette. This is the Laguna Quad that came out for the summer. This is beautiful. It looks boring and basic, but it is not boring at all. It is the bronze, the warm, it's everything. I absolutely love this. And I've been using this pretty much every single day, so I'm going to give this a rest and show some love to my Glossier trio. So with this Milani crease brush, I'm going to apply just a tiny bit because really what I'm after here is the definition to bring back some shape to my eye. And you can see a difference from a little bit to nothing. It's simple, but it really makes all the difference. And you only really need one brush. So I'm just going back in with that same brush and just working that color back and forth. I'm not adding any additional product. It's just really working what's left on here and making sure everything is blended because this is the only shade that I'm going to be using in my crease today. I'm not really going to be adding anything darker because I kind of want to do that one shadow look but take it up a bit where I'm using something to define my crease in actual color, whereas the one shadow look is really just one color and that's it. So with this trio, you have a more metallic kind of shimmer and then one that is definitely more sparkly. So I am going to go with the more sparkly version because this is where I want to kind of play up my eyes and add a little bit of some more wow factor. So it's a beautiful shade, it's a natural tone, but it has that sparkle, so it's taking that one and done kind of look, but just kind of elevating it just a pinch where there's a little bit of something special there. And I do like it. It's a very soft, kind of sparkly, slightly glittery, but it's not like chunky glitter. It's a really beautiful, you'll see it when the light catches, it almost looks like diamonds on the eye, but it's not big chunks of glitter. So that's why I chose it for today. And I'm going to use my ring finger to press this right over my Painterly paint pot. So we're done with eyeshadow. So now we have to do liner and mascara. I am going to use the Makeup by Mario liners as I talked about them previously. The Perfect Brown is my everyday color. I also have it in black. Love these so much. I'm going to line, just following the shape of my eye and tight line. And then I'm going to do my mascara, which is the Pillow Talk mascara from Charlotte Tilbury. And we are complete. The last thing is to do a little bit of setting spray. If I'm gonna wake up early and sacrifice 5-10 minutes of sleep, I wanna make sure that the time I'm putting into my makeup is actually gonna pay off and my makeup is gonna stay in place. And I can ensure that by using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. It's the best setting spray that I have used, and I've tried many, and I keep coming back to this one because it truly does work and locks everything into place. I just feel like overall, I think it was pretty easy to do, and I really hope that this was helpful. I hope that you found some new products to try, some tips along the way. I know it was a lengthy video, but I didn't want to just do a get ready with me and sort of speed through everything and then just call it a day. I wanted to give you some tips, some ideas, some product recommendations, and really tell you why I do what I do, because I think that's important as well. Not just seeing someone apply it, but it's Why did you choose that product, and why is it that you're recommending XYZ? Like, I want to know that. Like, I want to know more. So that's why I gave you a more lengthy sort of back to school routine, and I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you so much just for being here today, for being you, for supporting my channel, watching my videos. It means more than you'll ever know. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for joining my family here on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram. We can be friends. I hope to see you there. We can chat. Share with me in the comments your favorite products, what you thought about the look, and I hope you're doing well. I hope that back to school has started off really great for you and your family. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.